Guy Warren Ballard was a United States mining engineer and a co-founder, together with his wife Edna Ann Wheeler Ballard, of the I Am spiritual movement, inspired by his life-changing meeting with the ascended Master Saint Germain. One morning in 1930, Mr. Ballard, led subconsciously by his inner spiritual longing, went on a hike on beautiful Mount Shasta, a place located in the western U.S., where legend has it that a group of divine adepts reside or could be seen. His sincerity and deep longing for the truth led to a profound experience that day. He was blessed by the appearance of the beloved Master Saint Germain. Following this enlightening encounter, Mr. Ballard devoted his life to spreading the Master's wisdom according to his capacity. From Master Saint Germain's dictation and teachings, Mr. Ballard wrote a series of books under the pseudonym Godfré Ray King. Master Saint Germain's imparted spiritual knowledge was the basis for many lectures given by Mr. Ballard, as well as for the founding of the I Am religious activity in the early 1930s. By 1938, it had up to 1 million followers. Today, the volumes documenting the precious mysteries revealed by the Ascended Master to Godfré Ray King are still a fascinating spiritual gem for many across the globe. The three most famous volumes are titled Unveiled Mysteries, The Magic Presence, and the I Am Discourses. Ascended Master Saint Germain is deeply venerated among the Theosophical Society, as he represents the establishment of the Aquarian Age, an era that we are privileged to be witnessing. He is also identified with the Count of Saint Germain, a mysterious European figure who possessed a great inner knowledge and was called immortal by some due to his everlasting youth. We will now read a passage from Guy Warren Ballard's, or Godfré Ray King's book, Unveiled Mysteries. The book begins with Mr. Ballard's business trip to a small town at the foot of the magnificent Mount Shasta, where little did he know, he would meet the Ascended Master Saint Germain, who revealed divine secrets about humanity. Excerpt from Chapter 1, Meeting the Master. As the day advanced, it grew very warm, and I stopped frequently to rest and enjoy to the full the remarkable stretch of country around the McLeod River, valley, and town. It came time for lunch, and I sought a mountain spring for clear, cold water. Cup in hand, I bent down to fill it as an electrical current passed through my body from head to foot. I looked around, and directly behind me stood a young man who, at first glance, seemed to be someone on a hike like myself. I looked more closely and realized immediately that he was no ordinary person. As this thought passed through my mind, he smiled and addressed me, saying, "My brother, if you will hand me your cup, I will give you a much more refreshing drink than spring water." I obeyed, and instantly the cup was filled with a creamy liquid. Handing it back to me, he said, "Drink it." I did so, and must have looked my astonishment, for, while the taste was delicious, the electrical vivifying effect in my mind and body made me gasp with surprise. I did not see him put anything into the cup, and I wondered what was happening. "That which you drank," he explained, "comes directly from the universal supply, pure and vivifying as life itself. In fact, it is life, omnipresent life, for it exists everywhere about us. It is subject to our conscious control and direction, willingly obedient, when we love enough, because all the universe obeys the behest of love. Whatsoever I desire manifests itself when I command in love. I held out the cup, and that which I desired for you appeared. See, I have but to hold out my hand, and if I wish to use gold, gold is here. Instantly, there lay in his palm a disc about the size of a $10 gold piece. Again, he continued, I see within you a certain inner understanding of the great law, but you are not outwardly aware of it enough to produce that which you desire direct from the omnipresent universal supply. You have desired to see something of this kind so intensely, so honestly, and so determinedly, it could no longer be withheld from you. However, precipitation is one of the least important activities of the great truth of being. If your desire had not been free from selfishness and the fascination of phenomena, such an experience could not have come to you. When leaving home this morning, you thought you were coming on a hike. That is, so far as the outer activity of your mind was concerned. In the deeper, larger sense, you were really following the urge of your inner God self that led to the person, place, and condition wherein your most intense desire could be fulfilled. The truth of life is you cannot desire that which is not possible of manifestation somewhere in the universe. The more intense the feeling within the desire, the more quickly it will be attained. However, if one is foolish enough to desire something that will injure another of God's children or any other part of his creation, then that person will pay the penalty in discord and failure somewhere in his own life's experience. It is very important to realize fully that God's intent for every one of his children is abundance of every good and perfect thing. He created perfection and endowed his children with exactly the same power. They can create and maintain perfection also, and express God, dominion over the earth and all that is therein. Mankind was originally created in the image and likeness of God. The only reason all do not manifest this dominion is because they do not use their divine authority, that with which each individual is endowed and by which he is intended to govern his world. Thus, they are not obeying the law of love by pouring out peace and blessing to all creation. This comes about through their failure to accept and acknowledge themselves, temples of the Most High Living God, and to hold this acknowledgement with eternal recognition. Humanity, in its present seeming limitation of time, space, and activity, is in the same condition a person in need would be to whom someone held out a handful of money. If the needing one did not step forward and accept the money held out to him, how in the world could he ever have the benefit which it would bring? The mass of mankind is in exactly this state of consciousness today, and will continue in it until they accept the God within their hearts as the owner, giver, and doer of all the good that has ever come into their lives and world. The personal self of every individual must acknowledge completely and unconditionally that the human or outer activity of consciousness has absolutely nothing of its own. Even the energy by which one recognizes the great God within is radiated into the personal self by the great God self. Love and praise of that great self within, and the attention maintained focused upon truth, health, freedom, peace, supply, or any other thing that you may desire for a right use, persistently held in your conscious thought and feeling, will bring them into your use and world, as surely as there is a great law of magnetic attraction in the universe. The eternal law of life is that whatever you think and feel you bring into form. Where your thought is, there you are, for you are your consciousness, and whatever you meditate upon, you become. For more information on the Ascended Master Saint Germain, the I Am Teachings, and Godfrey Ray King's books, please visit stgermainfoundation.org. Considerate viewers, we appreciate your kind presence for today's words of wisdom.